Welcome to another Malloy DIY YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about installing side-by-side or 2-gang 20 amp GFCI protected outlets in a 4-inch square metal box. Let's start with the necessary disclaimers. I am not an electrician. The way I'm doing things today may or may not meet code in your area. Working with electricity is dangerous, and posting a YouTube video about it is even more dangerous. You shouldn't do it unless you've been trained to do so and are comfortable with the scope of the work. Nothing in this video should be construed as advice. It's merely a video on how I do things in my own garage. We're starting today with a 2-gang metal box already installed. It's screwed to a stud and is already wired with 12-2 Romex. I've wired the other end of this wire into the sub panel. It's a 100 amp sub panel in this case, and it's already hooked up to a 20 amp breaker that is in the off position. You can see I've already made hooks on the hot, neutral, and ground connectors to prepare for installation. I'm using the pigtail method to wire these outlets. I think pigtailing is a little more professional, and in this case it would allow me to easily add on to this 20 amp circuit in the future if I wanted to. For those of you unfamiliar with outlet wiring, this might look a little bit confusing as we look at this diagram, but it's really not too bad when you break it down. I only have one Romex wire going to this box. In my case, I fed it through the middle of the back of the box and used a cable clamp to secure it. So in this Romex wire, there is a hot, neutral, and ground conductor. The hot wire is black, the neutral wire is the one with the white sheath, and the ground conductor is the bare wire. Each wire will go into a push-in style connector before it goes to its location on the GFCI outlet. The first outlet is the GFCI. So the hot wire goes in the push-in connector, and then a short pigtail connects to the top of the brass screw on the GFCI. The neutral conductor does the same thing, except its pigtail goes to the top silver screw on the GFCI. The ground wire comes into the box, goes into a different push-in connector, and then one pigtail goes into each ground terminal on each outlet. One thing not shown here is the box is grounded since it's a metal box. It's not shown in the wiring diagram, but I do have the bare ground conductor wrapped around a ground screw in the back of the box. Alright, now we're going to get into the juicy bits. I'm going to start by attaching the ground wires to their respective ground terminals. Of course, it doesn't really matter which ground wire goes to which ground terminal in this case. Again, this wire is completely dead. It is not hot at all, and I verified this prior to filming. It's real important to get these conductors on there nice and snug. We're going to the neutral ones next. I have a little trouble with this one, getting it significantly under that screw and in a position where it tightens down appropriately. You really don't want a lot of that extra wire sticking out, and I am being careful to get it pretty much perfect before we move on. You can see I've already got the pigtails from outlet to outlet in place, the hot to the hot, and the neutral to the neutral connectors in place. And if you look close there, you can see that those tabs on the outlets are already broken off so that they fit on the cover. I'm going to take a minute here after I get the hot conductors on to go ahead and wrap these up with electrical tape. This adds an extra measure of safety, especially when you're using these metal boxes, so that neither the ground, hot, or neutral terminals touch. And if anybody gets nosy and takes off the cover and pulls this off, they're not going to get a shock when they touch these outlets. Now it's just a matter of securing the outlets to the cover. I've had these screws and nuts left over in my electrical bag, so I'm just going to use this. The outlet and cover actually didn't come with these in this case, but the nuts I'm using have a special little backing on them, keep them from backing out, so they're not going to come loose anytime in the future. Once I get all 4 of those screws in, I'm going to go ahead and secure it to the box on the wall. And then we're going to get to testing. I'm going to make sure all these wires are tucked back nice into that box. You don't want them kinked or bending to the point where they're going to break or touch another conductor, especially that hot to the ground would not be a bueno situation. so that's on there nice and snug. Do me a favor, comment below if there's any kind of trim ring that you know I can buy. Cover up that little gap in the drywall. You can see everything tested out there just fine. I did go ahead and test that GFCI feature, and it worked wonderfully. I have 2 lights on the right of my tester that show it is wired correctly, it is grounded, and the hot and neutrals are not mixed up. Again, leave a comment below if you know anything about a trim ring I can buy to put behind that to cover up that very, very small gap in the drywall. And leave me a comment if you saw me do anything wrong. I'm always open to feedback. I will check the comments regularly. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Rock Rockenbach for helping me out with this project. Rock, you're a good friend. Couldn't do it without you, buddy. If you guys learned something today, do me a favor and give this video a big thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, I'll be making more videos in the near future, so go ahead and hit subscribe for more DIY content. Thanks for watching. Take care.